Good morning, everyone. Welcome to QA Review, remote version. We live in interesting times. So we have Jose Rodriguez, the PDC. He's going to be moderating. He's your MC for the next hour or so, or however long it takes. And if we just find out who else, looks like everyone, the phone numbers went away. So it looks like we have all names, so that's good. Jose, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
All right. Awesome. Good morning, everybody. And believe it or not, me and Corey had foresight. We had always planned this one to be a remote. So it worked out well. So I think today, this morning, only because of the current environment, I'm going to spend most of my time on what the changes are going to be in the release that was supposed to be this week. They actually postponed it because they're doing some additional back-end tweaking. Supposed to be released next week of ProQA Medical. Actually, all three ProQAs, medical, fire, and police. But most of the changes, as you guys can expect, it's going to be in medical. There are some minor changes, some question changes, but I think I'm going to spend most of my time today on the COVID specific stuff. I think that's probably what's going to interest you guys the most. One of the changes they did in the last release when this whole COVID stuff started is that they created a temporary code in Protocol 26 of, I believe it was 26 Alpha 12, if I remember correctly, that they made it COVID something or other, coronavirus illness. In this release, they're going to change it back to what it was, which is possible meningitis. What they've done now is they've created a suffix, which is suffix C, as in coronavirus. So for you guys, is for your response plans on your CADs and all that, you're going to have to look back and look at all your 26 codes, and you're going to have to add that suffix C, because that suffix C is going to be available to all the levels, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and all the determinant codes. All right. So let me just go through this call real quick here, and just to make sure everybody can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let's see. So this is a release that was just released a couple of days ago. It's still an alpha for us, so bear with me as I'm trying to work through to get to where I need to. Okay, so no pain. So there it goes. You see that's 26 Alpha 12. It went back to possible meningitis, so you're no longer going to get a 26 Alpha 12 as coronavirus. So let's just say that they have fever and chills. So what they've added is this new question: enter level coronavirus illness concern. This is what's going to give you that C suffix. Now, on the left-hand side here, I have the administrative tool open for ProQA, and this is a question that can be turned off. So obviously, once the whole pandemic is over, whenever that's going to be, you can go back and turn this question off, so that way this question will not pop up. All right, and that's going to be found, and again, in the admin utility tool under restricted settings, and it has its own tab for Protocol 26. And to turn it off, you just uncheck it. All right. Now, if you suspect it or you're not 100% sure, you can launch the EIDS tool, and you can tell the EIDS tool will open up. All right. Now they've gone back, and I have mine in trigger mode right now, but they've gone back and rehashed some of these. And one of the things that I want to make sure that everybody understands, these questions are only if the answer is yes. So even the medical director questions, you only mark, and I don't have any built on mine because I said this is my alpha version, so I haven't gone through and built them. But whatever questions you guys built in there, you'll only check it if the answer is yes. All right, not the fact that you asked it. Okay. So it depends on what they say here. She traveled the last 14 days. Let's just say yes. And again, let's do Wuhan because that's where everything started. Confirm travel from a known infected area, so the answer is yes. Contact with person, we're gonna leave those no. Contact with someone with flu-like symptoms, let's say spouse had it. Is there a healthcare worker? The answer is no. Okay, and again, I don't have medical director, so I can't go and mark these because I don't have the questions built. But once I have info complete, so again, based on what the tool findings are, signs and symptoms are clearly present. I'm going to finish my call, and there's my C code. Even at an alpha level, you're going to see that you're going to get that C code for possible coronavirus. Okay. So any questions on that change on protocol 26? All right. Hearing none. So let me finish this call up real quick, and let me go into protocol 36. So with protocol 36, again, this is probably where most of the changes have occurred with this version that they're going to release, and it all has to do with the COVID virus. So there's a new key question again, select the disease outbreak. If we know it's because of what we're on right now, it's been declared pandemic, we're just going to choose coronavirus. If it's anything other than that, then we just pick other, but let's go with coronavirus. Now in this next question here, enter the locally designed flu level. It's been changed from 0 through 3. The Academy is not going to tell you guys what 0 to 3 is. It's not going to tell you what it should be. This is locally defined for you guys. You guys have to sit there and say, okay, so level 0, we're just under surveillance mode. Level 1, low triage, whatever low triage is for you guys. So this is where you guys got to pick that. There's not going to be any recommendations from the Academy on what to make these or what these all are. All right. So I'm just going to pick moderate triage. The next question, select the most prominent complaint. The answer choices has the flu was changed from the older version to flu-like illness. If the coronavirus was selected as a disease outbreak, then the headache and vomiting answer choices are going to be hidden. Okay. So this again, I'm going to click flu-like illness. This question still there, that hasn't changed. Is it changing color? Hasn't changed. But I'm going to put yes for now, and I'm just going to say he's pale. Is he having chills or sweat? I'm going to say he's having chills. Does he have a new cough that recently started? So I'm going to choose yes. Is this a high-risk patient? Again, we know that, although recently I've seen some kids are now getting this and dying from it, but we know that this is affecting the older than 65 or older community, and anybody with a weakened immune system or the bigger patients. So I'm just going to say it's older than 65. And there's my code, 36 Charlie 5B. Now what the B means, it has to do with the triage, that question of locally designed triage level. If I go and change this to a level 3, you'll notice that now it became a C instead of a B. All right. One of the other things too, while I'm at PDIs, these PDIs will only turn on if we have a triage level suffix, the A, B, C, or the B, C, and D. Okay. If I go back and I change this to 0, surveillance only, notice that all the PDIs have grayed out. You can always turn them on if you need to give the instructions, but it defaults to being turned or grayed out. Okay. All right. Going back to high risk. Again, looking at some of these here, if I do weaken the immune system, it's not really going to change the code. It still falls in that Charlie level. But if I go back and I'll say he's not alert, there's my Delta level for not alert with flu-like symptoms. If I would have picked a changing color that's significant, oops. I've hosed this one up. I've changed it so many times that now it's acting up. Yeah, let me start a new call. So coronavirus, again, let me just go with level 2. And let Let me do just general sickness, illness. Actually, you notice I chose chest pain. If I chose now, has he ever had a heart attack or angina? And I say yes. Which one has he had? And I'm just going to say he's had a heart attack in the past. Is he completely alert? You notice that once I picked heart attack before, there's that shunt to protocol 10. Okay. I think that was something that was not occurring on the older version. So now technically I'm in protocol 10. If I go back and change this to where I originally wanted to go, which was general illness or weakness, this is a new comment box for you to put in. What other symptoms are they having? I'm just going to say feels weak and general malaise. Is he completely alert? I'm going to say yes. Is he changing color? I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to put a more significant color change like blue. And there's my delta level for changing color with flu-like symptoms. Again, because I picked the level 2 triage. Okay. If I remove the coronavirus and pick another disease outbreak, notice that my suffix is different. It becomes an M. So you guys are going to have to go back and look at all your responses and all your prospective agencies and look at 26 with that suffix C and on 36, the different suffixes, because it really is going to be tied down to these first two answer choices. So let's see. So when it comes to the suffixes, there are new ones. Like I said, S suffix is a no change in response. It's just surveillance only. A is low triage, B is moderate, and C is going to be your high triage. And usually these are going to be your Charlie and Delta levels. Then you have your X, L, and M, which are for your other disease surveillance. So here when I picked other disease, those are going to give you the suffixes of X, L, M, and H. Okay. If you guys notice, let me get a, let me change this to coronavirus. This should open up all my PDIs. If you notice, there is a new PDI-C, the no EMS response home quarantine instructions, which is due to the extent of the epidemic, your condition requires that you remain at home and avoid close contact with others. A healthcare professional or specialist will contact you soon to give you further instruction and connect to a specialist available. Again, if appropriate, and it applies to the situation. PDID, again, is also no EMS response, but depending on what's going on, since the hospitals are currently full and only accepting critical ill patients, I'm going to give you the address location of the nearest treatment center, whatever your local instructions are for that. Do you have transportation to get there? If no, follow local instructions. So again, these, although they are turned on, it's based on what's going on. Like New York, I'm pretty sure if they're not already, they will be soon, giving out these D instructions because their hospitals are getting overrun. There's been some other changes in wording and stuff like that in Protocol 36, but those are the biggest changes. So do you guys have any questions with Protocol 36, the EADS tool, anything along that nature?
No.
Corey, is there anything you want to add on your part? Because I know you've been dealing with this for a little while.
No, I think we've pretty much hashed out in phone
Yes.
calls. Oh, go ahead.
Good, how are you?
Oh,
Yeah.
somebody needs to mute their
Absolutely.
audio.
No, you hold on just a second. Greg, you there? You have a phone call.
Okay, so one of the other changes that have not directly related to the COVID and the Protocol 36 in the admin tool, PDI-aid, it's something that we've had in, I guess it is sort of tied into COVID, but if you notice Protocol 6, we've added the inter-level coronavirus illness concern. Protocol 9, if you guys have the AD locators, which I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, Corey, nobody in Maine has the AD locator, right, yet?
Correct. We're
Okay.
still working on, Maine EMS is working on that project, but it has not been
Okay.
approved.
So make sure, I'm not sure when you guys do the new update if it defaults to it being on or off, but it's something you guys want to look at. If you guys are not there yet, make sure you uncheck it so that question does not pop up. But again, Protocol 6, Protocol 10, Protocol 13, 26 have all been added that entry-level coronavirus illness concern. So it's been addressed on several fronts. Protocol 39, do you guys know, or have you been reading about Protocol 39? Do you guys know what Protocol 39 is?
So that's the
No.
police.
So Protocol 39, we've now brought the active assailant protocol into the medical protocols, and that's what Protocol 39 is, okay? Again, if you guys are gonna use it, all you gotta do is check it on. So let me go through it real quick here. So it's going to give you an immediate response because it's an active assailant. Notice that as soon as I got through case entry, it immediately gave me that 39 echo 1. We're going to give them the instruction. Are you at the location now? And basically, this is almost exactly to the T how it is on police. And I know you guys, some of you guys don't like the police protocol, but this is something we needed to add on medical for those agencies that don't have police protocols. First party, again, what type of weapons are involved? We can pick multiple, and we can say long rifle and handgun. How many shots have been fired? Again, we could pick multiple, or sorry, not multiple, numerous. When was the last time you heard shots? Still being fired as we speak. So now it changes the code and adds that M for multiple weapons. How many suspects are involved? We can put 1, 2, more than one, or I have no idea. Where's the suspect now? Again, we have the answer choices of on scene, still in the area, left leaving the area, circulating the area. So we could say still on scene, still shooting people. First floor by the auntie and pretzel place. Okay. Because suspect's description, again, if they have it, great. It's just going to open up the person descriptor. If they don't have it, again, that's fine too. We can just hit unknown. Then we're going to get into the evacuation, to evacuate, be able to leave. So can you safely evacuate the building? If you say yes, it's going to take you down evacuation instructions. If it says, if the answer is no, the instructions are a little bit different, which is how to lock down, you know, the instructions for that. Once you give those instructions, where exactly are they? If they're inside the building, second floor, by the Apple store, let's just say. Best way to get to you, again, I don't know how you can get to me, how many people are with you, and 6. Unknown, how many people are in the building, it's a mall. Does the suspect appear to be wearing a bulletproof vest? And again, no, yes, or unknown. Caller can say unknown, that's fine. Did you see him carrying anything? They said yes, backpack. Did you hear the suspect say anything? Again, the answer is typically here, no. Did he arrive? How did he arrive? Now here, you know, you have different options. Obviously, you have vehicle on foot, bicycle, boat. Suspect lives at the location, other or unknown. Again, in a mall situation or something like that, or even a business, you may not know how the person got there. So we're going to choose unknown. Have they taken any hostages? Again, we can choose unknown. How many people are injured? And they may say, you know, I see 3 people on the ground. Unknown if they're hurt. Nope, there's nothing else I can tell you. And then basically on these, we're always going to stay on the, as best that we can, we're going to stay on the line with them. If we can't, we can, but we're going to try always stay on the line with them. We do have the connection, the instructions for urgent disconnect. We have the stay on the line instructions too. Okay. So again, this is with, this was actually released with the last version, but it is a checkbox you need to turn on the end there. Other than that, nothing else has really changed on the admin utility or on medical with the new release that's going to come out next week. So I don't have the Aqua yet because the one I had wasn't working correctly. So they are going to rebuild their, they should have rebuilt it by now, but I don't have a chance to download it. But because of the coronavirus and using the EIDS tool, give me a second here, I'm logging into my Aqua. I thought I had it open already. One of the things that they're adding into the diagnostic and instruction tools, let me just open up a case here. Let me drag Aqua over. Everybody can see my Aqua, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Corey. And let me just pick this case here. So this is not the actual build. So I'm just gonna kind of go over under the diagnostic and DE forms. They've added a section here for the EIDS tool. It's gonna look just like level 1 and level 2, but it's on its own, same concept 1 through 5. The only thing as of right now, because the standards don't have it, there is no deviation for using the tool wrong. It's more of a tracking or a trending tool. Just we're requesting it. We cannot put as a deviation because of right now, EIDS tool is not a level 1 or a level 2. There's no standard that says that it is. So, so as of right now, it's just a tracking mechanism. It's not a deviation. So if they do something wrong, you're not going to see that deviation on the incident performance report. Okay. So any questions on that? And that's been the only change on Aqua. All right. Anybody have any questions overall over anything with Procure and Aqua from me at this point before we release it to you guys to have your normal meeting?
No, I'm good.
Awesome. All right. So as of changes and things coming up, and hopefully it was supposed to be Tuesday, then it was supposed to be today, but now they moved it to next week. Those have been those are the upcoming changes. So I'll leave it up to you guys now. Obviously, I'm going to do like always. I'm going to hang out on the phone, or on the conference call, but it's your meeting now. So Corey, I don't know. You may have to lead it.
Well, let's go to Laura. Laura usually has a list. Miss Downing, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you
Yep,
just fine.
I can hear you.
I really don't have a long list. I just have one request. Can we touch on what Cascade events? Because I'm still not real clear on how the details of what a Cascade event is and how to, I get kind of what it is, but how to use it in regards to giving feedback.
So Cascade event, it's usually going to occur at the key question section. And what that is if they made a wrong choice on an answer. So for example, let's use the example of changing color. If the call, they asked a question, even though they asked it correctly, but they picked the wrong answer choice where they should have picked yes, there's a color change, and then that would give them a different question, what is that color change? But let's say they pick no, that's going to trigger a Cascade event. So what that is that it's just it's more a reminder for you guys. Definitely do comment on it, but it's more of a reminder to say, don't mark them wrong because they didn't ask that sub question. What color are they changing? Now that doesn't mean that final coding is going to be automatically correct, because final coding could still be wrong, even though it may have been. And when I say it could be wrong, it could be wrong in the sense where it should have been a Charlie instead of a Delta. That's still wrong, but it's a result of that wrong answer. Okay, but don't mark them wrong for not asking a question they didn't see. I don't know if that clears it up a little bit.
It does, yeah.
Okay.
I think I was thinking it had to be like a bigger thing than it is. I get it. It's just more of a thing for us in the background.
Right, and then you can always comment on it. Obviously, hey, this answer should have been yes. So you're going to mark it wrong because they picked the wrong answer, but don't mark them wrong on the next question they didn't see. Kind of like the same concept of, you guys remember in the standard, if the call taker picks the wrong chief complaint, we're going to go with them to the wrong chief complaint just to make sure, even though it's wrong, and we're going to mark it that it was wrong, but they do it right on the wrong one. So, you know, don't mark and say, well, you're on abdominal pain, should have been a chest pain. So all these questions are asked wrong because it's the wrong chief complaint. Kind of that same concept, but within key questions and some other things that'll pop up that'll make it a cascade event.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anybody else got anything? Laura, that's all you have?
Yeah, I mean, that's that's really everything as far as QA is just finding time to get it done, and we haven't had anything real difficult come up. So
Yeah, I imagine with all the stuff going on with the COVID-19 stuff, it's been tough for you guys.
it's been COVID round and round and round.
Let's check with Washington County. Let's go down the list. Washington County, Cindy, do you have anything?
No, I don't have any questions at this time.
Okay. How about up in Holton?
I don't think so. Just trying to get through this craziness.
Okay. And DPS Bangor.
I'm good right now, Corey. Just try to keep up with all the updates and changes that are coming out multiple times a day.
We hear you. About Waldo County. All right, they're all set. How about Lincoln? Any questions from Lincoln County? Rob, you there? Let's check the Somerset. Okay. Saginaw. How about Saco?
No questions from Saco, but thank you.
All right. Penobscot. Okay. And the 9428535, are those Penobscot RCC numbers? Okay. Maine EMS.
I think I missed most of the presentation, unfortunately, but
I recorded it, so
thank you.
I'll edit out the beginning and make sure that gets posted. So I think what we'll do is we'll make sure that PSAPs can view that in case they missed any of it, because there was a lot of really good information. Jose, I think you did such a good job because nobody had any more questions about COVID. So,
Well, I can't take credit for it. I think it just has to do with everybody's buried into the COVID world.
right.
So,
We have been having several calls a week about this. So,
yeah. And I don't know if I'm stepping out my lane here, but did you share that link for them for the seminar this afternoon for the ones that could attend?
So because we were told that seating was very limited, it's going to be Maine EMS ESCB, and then we're going to forward on the information. We were told that seating was extremely limited, so we're going to have that and then pass that along.
They record it, so and everybody who's registered, they're going to get a copy or a link to get the recording.
Excellent.
I don't know you can download the recording because it might be a large file, but you can definitely probably share the link to where the recording is.
Perfect. Okay. We will look
But
at that
yeah,
option so they have it available.
Yeah, right. And when you guys get that, please look at it. We did a trial run last week for internal people, and it's an awesome presentation. So take advantage of it.
And you said that was likely Brian Dale that will be doing it?
Part of it. Ken is doing a piece of it. I can't remember if it's Brian Dale or Greg Scott that are going to talk about it. And then First Watch is going to talk about a piece from them and their dashboard, which has to do with our Academy analytics stuff. But there's a piece that it's actually available to everybody that they can use, like a dashboard. So they'll talk about that too.
Okay. All right. I know we're always very medically driven on this QA review, but in terms of FireQ, this QA review is not just for medical. Does anyone have any fire queue related questions? Okay. Any other questions or comments for the good?
Corey, I don't know if you saw the message from Jack, the chat.
Let's see. Jack. Send president. Yes, I'll make sure that gets to everyone. We'll make sure this presentation and the COVID-19 presentation will get to all the places it needs to go.
Corey, it's Melissa. Did you guys discuss the update? Will that be made available today for agencies? The software update?
Software update is being pushed back to next week.
Okay.
They still have, I think they said Doc has a few more changes to make.
Right, and we had a challenge of, do we really want to release a new version on a Friday?
I hear you.
Yeah.
That's great, actually. Would there be an opportunity, aside from the Facebook Live presentation today at 11 and then the webinar later this afternoon at 3, is there any other opportunity to view educational material or the changes that will be in that update prior to the software update?
So when they release the software, along with the software, they're always going to release a document that has the release notes, they call it, or updates.
Maintenance
you'll
release, is that what they call it?
This is going to be a maintenance release, right? But they'll have a document that will tell you all the changes so you guys can see it. There's not going to be a video on it because it's mainly concentrated around Protocol 36. So the document should kind of go through all the details. So once you get that notification as a new version, in that same spot where you download the file from, the new version, there'll be a document that says release notes, or you're going to call it release notes.
Okay, great, thank you.
Nice to meet you, Melissa, by the way. I'm sorry it has to be this in this kind of circumstances.
You too, Jose. We met once before at an in-person QA review, but I think that's it.
Yeah, when you were at Hollowell doing the refresher.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, there, short, sweet, to the point. Thank you all for joining. If you do
All right,
have
guys,
any questions, reach out to me by phone or
Yep.
email.
Yep, and Corey, if there's anything, Corey always reaches out to me, and most of you guys all have my email anyway too. So any questions, either Corey or myself or both of us at the same time.
All right. Thank you, Jose.